Hey there, Scorpio, and welcome to your mid-September 2021 general tarot reading. This is going to be a different kind of spread than I usually do. This is going to be a three-card spread. There's going to be no clarifiers or anything like that, but what this is going to be is a step back, step forward spread. So if you want some sort of change or maintaining of a situation, I'm going to give you some options here. The step back will be if you want to take a step back from the situation. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. The cards will let us know if it is or not. Staying put, you like what the situation you're in, how to maintain it, like what kind of a mindset and actions you can take for that, and taking a step forward where it's kind of going to be more of a what can you do to step forward, step out of the situation, because you don't want to step back and you don't want to maintain this. You want to move on to something new here. Just things you can do, behaviors you can take, things like that. And hopefully, at very least, with these readings, it gives you some new perspective or an option you may not have considered before. So hopefully that helps you out. So thank you for being here, Scorpio. At any point through the reading, you can leave a like down below. Appreciate that if you like what's going on. If you really like what's going on, you like me, I appreciate it. And you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, regardless of that, you're going to want to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos after this one. So thank you again for being here, Scorpio, and let's see what we got for you. All right, so we've got Ace of Wands. I'm liking that. Wheel of Fortune. I like that as well. And the Eight of Cups. Interesting. I like where the Eight of Cups is positioned. I find that's very nice. But we'll get into that a little later. But first, we're going to start off with the Ace of Wands in your step back position. Just saying, if you want to step back from this situation, you need to go with more of a let's start over and find that. Be creative and be more in that spark of creativity sort of place, right? You want to kind of have that kind of an energy versus right now you might not have that. With the Wheel of Fortune is very much a maintenance energy, right? And I like how each of these kind of ended up in probably appropriately spaced here. But yes, the Wheel of Fortune is sort of like the maintenance card, and we'll get into that more when we get into it. But it's maybe saying if you want to take a step back from that, it's kind of like come at this with more of a creative edge, more of a spark of ingenuity and creativity, really going for that rather than being stagnant and doing what's just been working. It's like, let's start something new. Let's be a little weird with it. And let's go for that. The Ace of Wands is the thumbs up card. As you can see, the thumb is kind of giving you an up, giving you a go for it kind of feel. Fantastic. So I'm digging that. That's pretty awesome. So just, step back into creativity. If that, maybe you were in a very creative space before. Maybe you had a job or something where you could be a little more creative, or you were angling to be like a more creative type, like an artist, something like that, whether that's a musician, a writer, a painter, what have you. And now you've kind of stepped into more of a kind of 9 to 5 grinding kind of job, right? So potentially that's where you're at, but I do enjoy that, taking a step back into creativity. Like I say, taking a step back isn't always a bad thing. Like in this case, it's a very positive thing. So I'm enjoying that. That's awesome. In your maintenance spot is the Wheel of Fortune, and I did touch briefly saying that it is a maintenance card. With the Wheel of Fortune, you get what you give with it. If you give positivity, it will give you positivity back. If you give it negativity, it will give you negativity back. I'll try to remember. I talked to Pisces a bit about this as well. They had the Wheel of Fortune too. There's a fellow on YouTube named Grant. I can't remember his last name. Still can't remember his last name. But he did a video on the Fae and the fairies, and how some lore talks about how when you enter the fairy realm, if you enter with positivity and good vibes, it's going to be a great time and everything's going to be wonderful and the fairies are going to treat you right and stuff and whatever. But then if you start thinking negative things and bad stuff, then the Fae realm will kind of churn and shift and become a negative thing. And that's where you get those stories where kids going missing, fairies taking them away. And they go into the Fae and they're never heard from again because they go into there. And then once they start, turning eventually, because they are eventually going to have negative thoughts like, oh, I miss my family and things like that, and they're going to get sad. That's when it's going to churn and it gets bad, right? And that's how the Wheel of Fortune can be. That's how you kind of get stuck in those cycles of this person seems eternally an optimist and good things are always happening to them, because that's what they're putting out. The Wheel of Fortune is seeing that and kind of trying to match that energy. And if you're negative and you feel like, oh, I'm stuck, I can never get out of this, there's no way, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, the Wheel of Fortune's going to be like, yeah, you aren't. And we're going to keep pounding you with that and reasons why you should maintain that negativity. So it's really about changing the wheel and stuff. So I feel like if you like where you're at, especially if things are going good for you, I hope you wouldn't like where you're at if things are going bad for you. But if things are going good for you and you want to maintain this, the Wheel of Fortune's there to back you up. So not necessarily a bad thing either. And lastly, in your step forward position, you're moving on, is the Eight of Cups, which is a card of moving on. And very much with the Eight of Cups, it's like 8 cups of love, generally, is what this talks about with love, is awesome. It's really good. It's like, okay, let's be like 8 cups of love. That's great. That's like someone that really just clicks with you, really just gets you. They're awesome, but there's just something off, right? It's just, there's something not quite there. Have you ever been in a relationship like that, Scorpio, where you're like, this person's awesome, but there's just something's not quite right. Right? There's always that one piece missing. It could be, and that could be what it is where you're kind of like in stepping forward, you're walking away from that person, right? This 8 here could be the Wheel of Fortune, right? That could be that situation where it's like, this is great, but like, it's kind of stagnating. It's kind of just is what it is. And it's like, there's just something missing. There's just 2 cups here short of like everything I've ever wanted. Like, maybe that person just doesn't get you on something that's really important to you. And they're just, you guys have your differences, but you agree to disagree, right? Could be something like that. What this card is also saying is like, you're deciding to go for something else, something that you think is worth more, worth your time more, right? There's a 9 and a 10 out there, and you know it, and that's what you want. Really, you want that 9 and 10. So just with here, taking a step forward is moving on. It's just plain old moving on, getting out of here, getting out of this situation, whatever it may be, and just deciding, what, there's better out there for me, and I'm going to go find it. So I'm loving that. That's awesome, Scorpio. So just as a quick little summary here, you can take a step back and be a little more creative, be a little more, adventurous, things like that, be a little more gung-ho. You can keep maintaining things, and whatever you're doing now, just keep it up, and you are going to maintain it with that Wheel of Fortune because you get what you give with it. But if that's not what you want, not really what you want, there's something just a little bit off, take the 8 of Cups, take that step forward, go find that 9 and 10, because that's what you really want deep down. So that's all I got for you for this mid-September reading, Scorpio. Thank you so much for being here. Hope this has helped you out. Hope this is giving you a new perspective or some new eyes on something, or maybe some options you never considered before. Thank you so much for being here, Scorpio. If you want to help out the channel, though, you can leave a like down below. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can share the video or check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos, too, after this one. Thank you again for being here, Scorpio, and I hope to see you in the next video.